In our world, we often measure success by a single number. The figure on a paycheck, the salary that dictates our homes, our cars, our place in society. We are taught from a young age that a higher income is the ultimate goal. It is the key that unlocks the door to a better life, to security, and to wealth. This belief is so deeply ingrained that we spend decades climbing corporate ladders, working longer hours, chasing promotions. We trade our most precious resource, our time, for a bigger number, believing it is the only path to financial freedom. This relentless pursuit becomes the central story of our working lives. But what if this story is based on a fundamental misunderstanding? What if the gap between the truly wealthy and everyone else isn't about the size of their salary? Many people earn substantial incomes, yet live paycheck to paycheck, trapped in a cycle of high expenses and mounting debt. They have the symbols of wealth, but not the substance of it. They work harder and harder, only to find that genuine financial independence remains just out of reach. This paradox reveals a hidden truth that most people overlook. It is a quiet truth that operates beneath the surface of our financial system. This common belief, that a higher salary equals wealth, is the great misconception of our time. It keeps people focused on earning more, rather than keeping more. The real difference between those who build lasting fortunes and those who simply earn a good living lies elsewhere. It is not found in the dramatic moments of a bonus check or a significant raise. Instead, it is found in the quiet actions, unseen actions, mundane daily actions. These are the habits that silently build empires, while others are busy just getting by. The journey to wealth is less about a sudden sprint and more about a steady, deliberate walk. It requires a shift in perspective, moving away from the frantic chase for more income. We must begin to look beyond the immediate reward of a paycheck. We need to understand the underlying mechanics of how money truly works. The question we should be asking is not, how can I earn more? The more powerful question is, what do the wealthy do with the money they have, regardless of how much it is? The answer to this question changes everything. It reveals a different path entirely, one based on principles, not just paychecks. So, if income is not the primary driver of wealth, what is? The answer lies in a different way of thinking. It's a mindset that prioritizes not what you earn, but what you control. The wealthy understand that a salary is just one form of income, and it is often the least effective for building long-term financial freedom. They see money not merely as a tool for consumption, but as a resource to acquire assets. This fundamental difference in perspective is the starting point. It's about seeing the world through the lens of ownership, not employment. This shift is subtle, yet it has profound implications for every financial decision you make. In this exploration, we will uncover the 3 core habits that form the foundation of sustainable wealth. These are not get-rich-quick schemes. These are not complex financial instruments. They are simple, powerful principles that anyone can adopt, regardless of income. First, ownership. Moving from worker who sells time to owner who controls assets that generate income. The leap from earning a living to building a fortune. Second, systems. Not just willpower or discipline. Automated systems that make saving the default. Automated systems that make investing the default. Automated systems that make growing wealth the default. These systems work in the background, removing emotion and effort. They let wealth accumulate on autopilot, freeing mental energy for bigger opportunities. Third, a long time horizon. Radical patience. Think in decades, not days, not months. This perspective harnesses compounding and rides out market volatility. It trades quick wins for lasting success. Ownership, systems, long-term thinking, a framework for building a financial future that lasts. We are conditioned to see our salary as the center of our financial universe. It is the reward for our labor, the tangible result of our skills and dedication. This earned income feels secure and predictable. We use it to pay our rent. We use it to buy our food. We use it to fund our leisure. For most, this cycle defines their economic existence. The primary goal becomes maximizing income. believing a larger salary will fix everything. This seems logical and responsible, but it creates a subtle, powerful trap. If your livelihood depends on selling your time, you are limited. Only so many hours in a day. Only so many years in a working life. You become a single point of failure. If you stop working, illness, job loss, or retirement, the income stops. You become dependent on the next paycheck. You are renting your lifestyle. The landlord is your employer. The wealthy see this fragility. Earned income is necessary but inefficient for lasting wealth. Earned income is highly taxed. It's tied to your personal effort. It offers no leverage beyond your capacity to work. The wealthy treat a salary as seed capital. They deploy it, not consume it. This shift is the first step away from dependency. True security comes from owning more, not earning more. The first habit of the wealthy. Pursue ownership. Convert active income into passive ownership income. Use salaries to buy assets that generate money independent of time. Small business, real estate, stocks, intellectual property. The asset's form matters less than its function, cash flow and appreciation. This moves you from engine to architect of a wealth-generating machine. Ownership is a word we use often, but its deeper financial meaning is frequently misunderstood. It is not simply about possessing things. You can own a car or a television, but these are liabilities that depreciate and cost you money. True financial ownership is about control. It is about controlling assets that produce an income stream, appreciate in value, or both. It means having a legal right to the future profits and equity of a productive enterprise. An owner doesn't just work for money. They command assets that work for them, creating a flow of cash that is not directly tied to their hourly effort. Consider the difference between a highly paid chef and a restaurant owner. The chef may earn a fantastic salary, yet their income is capped by the hours they can physically stand in the kitchen. The restaurant owner, on the other hand, owns the system. They own the brand, the property, the equipment, the processes. They profit from the work of every employee, chef, servers, dishwashers. The owner's income is not limited by their own labor, but is leveraged across the entire operation, allowing their wealth to scale in a way the chef's salary never could. This concept extends far beyond traditional business. A landlord who owns a rental property, an investor who buys shares in a company. In each case, the owner has deployed capital to acquire a right to future cash flows. True ownership, therefore, is about acquiring equity. Equity is your stake in an asset. As the asset generates income or appreciates in value, your equity grows. This is the mechanism that separates the owner from the earner. The earner trades time for dollars. The owner trades dollars for equity, an asset that has the potential to grow and produce income indefinitely. This is the fundamental shift, from thinking about your next paycheck to thinking about your net worth. Section 3. The owner's advantage. The pursuit of ownership fundamentally alters your relationship with risk. An employee's greatest risk is the loss of their job, a single event that can sever their entire income stream. Their fate is largely in the hands of their employer. An owner, by contrast, diversifies risk by controlling multiple income-producing assets. A landlord with several rental units can absorb a vacancy in one. An investor with a broad portfolio of stocks isn't ruined if one company fails. Furthermore, ownership dramatically changes your tax outcomes. Earned income is often the most highly taxed form of income. A significant portion of your salary is taken by the government before you even see it. Capital gains from investments, rental income, business profits are often treated far more favorably by the tax code. Governments create these incentives to encourage investment and economic growth. The wealthy understand these rules, and they structure their finances to legally minimize taxes and keep more of what assets generate. This tax efficiency accelerates wealth accumulation. Owner incentives differ from employee incentives. An employee is incentivized to keep their job. Their focus is on a specific role. The owner is incentivized to think about the entire system. Their goal is to increase overall value and profitability. This encourages innovation, efficiency, long-term strategic thinking. They look for ways to improve the system, reduce costs, and find new opportunities for growth. This alignment of incentives is a powerful force. When you own the asset, your success is tied to the asset's success. That creates a powerful feedback loop. Improve the asset, it rewards you. Rewards give resources to reinvest or to acquire new assets. This cycle of reinvestment and growth drives exponential wealth, leaving linear salary growth far behind. Section 4. From employee to owner. The first steps. The transition from an employee mindset to an owner mindset can feel daunting. It seems like a world reserved for those who already have significant capital. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. The principles of ownership can be applied at any scale. Start today with what you already have. The first and most accessible form of ownership for most people is the stock market. Buying a low-cost index fund buys you tiny pieces of many companies. You become a part owner of the global economy. This step requires a crucial mental shift. See your savings not as idle cash, but as investment capital waiting to be deployed. Make paying yourself first a non-negotiable habit. Direct a portion of every paycheck into an investment account before other bills are paid. It doesn't have to be a large amount. Consistency matters more than size. This starts converting your labor into capital, putting money to work for you. Beyond the market, explore micro-ownership. Start a small side business. Create and sell a digital product. Rent out a spare room in your home. Convert an underutilized asset, your space, into a cash-flowing machine. These small ventures teach the fundamentals of being an owner. Think like a business owner with your personal finances. Ask yourself, where can I deploy my capital, my time, my skills, my money, to create an asset that generates future returns? This question reframes your financial world. Stop only cutting expenses. Start building small streams of ownership income. Practice deliberately, start small, learn as you go. Transform from passive consumer to active owner, one small asset at a time. We began this journey by challenging a deeply held belief, the idea that a high salary is the primary ingredient for building wealth. We have seen that while income is a resource, it is not the destination. The path to lasting financial freedom is not paved with bigger paychecks, but with a foundation of specific, repeatable habits. These habits form the true architecture of wealth. They are the unseen blueprint that separates those who build enduring fortunes from those who remain trapped in a lifelong cycle of earning and spending, regardless of how much they make. It is a structure available to anyone willing to learn its design. The first pillar of this architecture is ownership. The second pillar is the deliberate construction of systems. The third and final pillar is the cultivation of a long-time horizon. They work together in a virtuous cycle. Your long-term commitment gives you patience to let automated systems work. Automated systems channel money into assets. Ownership of those assets slowly builds wealth that secures your future. Each habit reinforces the others, a self-sustaining engine of financial growth. Understanding these principles is the first step, but knowledge without action remains inert. You do not need to overhaul your entire financial life overnight. You only need to lay the first brick. Your first action is to take one small step towards ownership. Open an investment account. Your second action is to build one automated system. Review your bank accounts and set up a single automatic transfer. Your third action is to commit to a long-time horizon by creating a simple 10-year vision. This is not a rigid plan, but a North Star. It shifts your focus from next month's bills to the next decade's possibilities. It gives your new habits of ownership and automation a purpose to serve. You have now given your journey a destination. The path outlined here is not glamorous. It does not promise overnight riches. It is a quiet path, a steady one. The journey requires a redefinition of success. Find satisfaction not in acquiring status symbols. Find satisfaction in the steady upward trend of your net worth. The greatest rewards are not material possessions. They are freedom, security, peace of mind. Remember these three habits: ownership, systems, long horizons. Choose ownership, build systems. Think long. Practice these habits with quiet consistency, and you will find you are no longer just earning a living. You are building a life of freedom, choice, lasting prosperity. The journey is long, but the destination is worth every deliberate step along the quiet path.